We just saw Avengers: Infinity War.
And what did you think?
It was the greatest superhero movie since the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I can say without ruining it.
Yeah.
All right, what did you like about it? Why was it the greatest? Why, what things you like?
It kept you on your toes. Lots of twists and turns, tons of action, great effects, plenty of characters. And I think I should stop there.
That's it?
That's it.
What would you give it out of 100?
100's too high. Let's just go 5 stars. I'll give it 5 stars.
So, no, but 100. We do have 100. You're gonna break the whole review system that I've been
That's
doing
the way
for
I
10
roll.
years?
Yeah, that's the way I roll.
5 stars.
100.
So that's
100.
Perfect score.
I'll give it. No, I can't give it 100. I cannot give it 100. I can't tell you why, but
99.
yeah, I guess
You
I'd
can
give
say
it
in
95.
general, if you 95.
95.
All right, cool. Young Jedi.
This is my favorite Marvel movie,
Ever.
hands down, ever.
Yeah.
I was not expecting any of it, and I'm sure not a lot of other people did either. It was really good.
You're a man of few words.
Yeah, what did I like about it? They did a really good job with all the characters.
Yeah.
I know that was a big worry for a lot of people, but I think they executed it really well.
All right.
And I think that was probably one of the most important things to do with this movie, was to make sure that the movie didn't feel like it was too much with all the characters. So I think they did a really good job with that. Effects are better than ever. Thanos looks amazing.
Yeah.
96 out of 100.
All right.
96 out of 100.
All right, cool.
So, I have seen Avengers: Infinity War 4 times. This is the 4th time I've seen it. The 2nd time I've seen it today. It goes without saying, I love this movie. I love this movie unapologetically. Now, I've had a lot of exposure to the film, so I can really codify exactly what I thought worked. I thought the Russo brothers did a masterful job of balancing action, intensity, comedy, drama, handling heavy tones but not feeling like a relentless slog. I thought Chris Hemsworth continued the great work he did in Thor Ragnarok. I thought he was a standout performance. I thought Gamora, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, was phenomenal. And I also have to say that I thought Josh Brolin's Thanos is one of the more interesting villains. Took a very one-note character in the comics and given him great depth. And I thought a semi-believable motivation. All that being said, this is nearly perfect. I have to give it a 99 out of 100. I don't know there's anything that would be perfect, but it was phenomenal, and I loved it.
All right, thanks.
Oh, me? Oh. I think I'm fresh out of the movie for the first time.
Yeah.
So I don't have it all formulated. But I have to say, I feel like the same way I did when I first saw Empire Strikes Back. Fantastic movie. I want to see the sequel right now.
Yeah.
And my initial feeling, because I haven't had a whole lot of time to think about it, is that everything in the movie was fantastic. Everything.
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 Yeah.
The key grip was phenomenal.
What's the key grip do?
I don't know. But the acting, the special effects, the directing, the writing, the pacing, the jokes, the serious moments. Whatever you can say about a movie, right now my experience is they nailed it.
They nailed it.
So, I mean, I have to give 100 out of 100.
100.
Fresh out of the theater. I mean, maybe
Perfect movie. Perfect movie.
Maybe I'll think of something later. that I didn't like, but right now, and even when I was watching it, this movie is freaking perfect.
Perfect.
Several times throughout the movie, and it, you know, while it ended, you know, the way it ended, my hope is 2 perfect movies in a row.
Awesome. All right, beautiful.
I loved it.
Yeah?
I did. It was very entertaining. The special effects, all the actors in it, edge of your seat the whole time. Awesome movie. I give it, oh my God, 98 out of 100.
Wow. All right.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Do you want to say anything about like what you actually enjoyed, or do you want to?
All the battle scenes,
Yeah.
special effects, seeing all the actors together, all the Avengers together, everything, how they worked together, and it was just like, it was just great. It was just a great movie. I enjoyed it. Everything about it, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
It's great.
All right, cool.
Oh, well,
You.
me. Wow. There's not a lot that I have to say 'cause so much happened and I'm just kind of like wrapped up in it. But all I have to say, without spoiling anything, is that I never laughed that hard and cried that much in the span of 2 hours. Wow, like, I've laughed for all Marvel movies, obviously, because they're always so funny. But, like, this one, I never laughed that hard, like, bellowing laughter. I never cried that much. Like, I don't usually cry for movies, but this one moved me a lot. The acting was amazing. They really did all the actors such a good job. Like, they did them so well. They all felt so real, and all the raw emotion, you could feel it, and it was just really impactful, and it was great. And I'd give it 98. I don't know why not 100. I don't know. I feel like no movie could be 100 for me.
I hear you.
But
Anything you didn't like?
anything I didn't like, take me a little bit to think about, which I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly. Like Derek said, I could probably think of something later.
Wow.
But right now, I'm just trying to think of it all. Just trying to wrap my brain around everything that I just saw because it just happened so fast. I definitely want to see it again because the 3D glasses gave me a bit of a headache, so it made it a little more difficult to watch. But once I watch it again, like, I'll be able to probably say more pros and cons.
And you'll be able to pick up on some of the nuances
Exactly.
of the story.
Exactly.
All right, cool. All right, you good? Do I look pretty?
Maybe great.
That's the most important thing. All right. So, okay, what did I think? So I thought it was fantastic. Very, very good. You know, early on there were some dialogue things that they didn't really work for me. It was like a little bit, some of the humor fell flat for me early. And, but it was very good. The special effects and the conception, the artistic conception of this movie, ridiculous. You know, just the artistry that they put into making this movie, the idea, like the visual ideas in this movie are exceptional. A cut above, probably the best we've ever seen in a Marvel movie. Just interesting. They're doing things where they're almost a surreal nature to them. There's certain points in the movie that have this like surreal nature and like stillness with, you know, computer generated characters giving this stillness and this incredible artistic and emotional thing just from the setting and the visual. All right, so what does all that mean? Well, it means that the people that made this are masterful, and I've never seen a movie with more characters where they gave the characters stakes and delivered on the stakes for each character in a way that didn't feel melodramatic for me, mostly. Some parts felt a little bit melodramatic and rushed a little bit. Yeah, so I love the movie. And it's the first part of a movie because it's really like a half. I mean, the movie is actually a movie, and it could stand on its own if it stood on its own. But you know that there's a sequel coming, and given that you know that a sequel is coming, some of the stakes in this movie get undermined by the fact that there's going to be a sequel for me, and so if I was like, this movie's going to stand on its own and this is it, this is what the movie is, and we're not going to go into another movie where some of the stakes that were established in this are going to be interrupted, then I'd be like, wow, I mean, this thing was like everyone else is saying in the high 90s or whatever. For me, I'm going to give it like a 93, and it's just simply for dialogue and questioning the validity of the stakes that got established in it. But I thought, and the highlights for me are just Tony Stark is just, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. It's masterful. Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I mean, home runs, Mark Ruffalo. I could name all the characters because they were all so spectacular. So, anyway, I think that's all I had to say about it. But yeah, you should see it. And I saw it in IMAX 3D. I recommend seeing IMAX 3D. It didn't give me a headache. It gave me like joy. All right.
Little interjection before I go, because I saw it 4 times. This is the first time on IMAX. I totally agree with him. I saw it on a regular screen, way better on IMAX.
Right. All right, cool. You good, everybody? You got it? Is it video? Yeah, we're good. All right, good. Anybody want to say anything spoilery? Anyone want to talk about the ending? You want to talk about the ending?
I hope they stay dead.
Yes.
No.
You don't.
Definitely not.
You don't hope they stay.
Counting my head.
Well, this is all going to be spoilers, so you can say whatever you want about it now.
Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Holy crap. They killed so many people that you would never dream they would kill.
Right.
The last people. Like, not the guys who've been in the movie forever.
Yeah, get in there so I can get all you guys. You can all talk about it.
So,
No? You don't want to
So-
talk about it, Kiri?
so, I
Look, so here's the problem with the movie. If all the people that die automatically come back to life in the very next film, then the stakes of the movie
Then this movie doesn't matter.
does not
Yeah,
matter.
I totally agree with that.
So there are people who are going to stay dead. Loki is dead. Heimdall
you're-
is dead.
Now who's saying
Gamora
that?
is likely.
You're saying this.
Kevin Feige said that the people
Why
who
would
died.
Kevin
I don't trust
Feige-
him. I don't trust him anymore.
Why would Kevin Feige tell us who actually is dead and not dead?
I just think the people erased by Thanos are almost certainly coming back. I don't know.
Loki was not erased by Thanos. Neither was Gamora, and neither was Heimdall.
So I think that Vision's dead.
Or Vision.
Vision's a robot though, so
They're
it
back.
is possible they could
If they come
fix
back
him.
as Stone.
I don't know if even that. They
I
could
think
probably.
if they just rebuild him,
They could. Particularly Shuri
Paint
is
him- paint
super
him
smart.
red again.
She could probably fix him.
spray paint.
But he's a robot, so it's like dead. He's broken.
I know you want to say something about this. What do you want to say?
No, it's just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wow, that
Dude.
was really rough.
Yeah.
He's my
He,
favorite.
Tom Holland. Oh my God.
I want to cry.
So, he made me cry. I've seen this 4 times. I was misty eyed.
I'm out of here.
You're
Good
out of
night,
here on
Chris.
that? See you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for.
So what about how cool Spider-Man looked in his armor?
Oh my God! How cool was it
So
when
sick.
Thor comes out and just lands and explosions happen everywhere?
That was the
And
best part of the movie.
That was amazing.
That was the best part.
Did
Was
you-
it for Ragnarok and then they just like placed in the middle?
Did
Yeah.
you like the aesthetic of the axe?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it looks a little funky. It looks a little too big for him. Looks a little.
And
it's
then
a two-handed
Groot,
weapon.
Groot used his arm to make
I
the
kind
axe.
of like that.
I like
'cause it's
that.
like we're working together. Like,
I support that.
And there's magic involved, so it makes it indestructible now. So it's all.
So they're all coming back, and
Hold on.
the stakes
I'm
here.
This
telling
movie
you.
doesn't matter at all.
But if it's
everyone's
that,
coming back.
but if
Loki, Gamora, and
Heimdall is dead.
Heimdall's dead.
but look,
Loki-
if,
but the
He's
character
dead.
development, if they all come back, it's like wow, like we were there for each other.
Right.
Now
Exactly.
you're
Listen,
together,
just because
we're like
it's
glue.
back though.
Hey, I don't know.
They can, if you can snap one way, you can snap it back. That's how they
Reverse
did.
snap.
Well, no, they just snap again.
The thing
a different intent.
The thing that really works is that they group characters off, and the characters all have to make an incredible emotional decision
Yes.
to establish
Yeah, it was like emotional
themselves.
And there were characters paired together that you wanted to see together. Who didn't want to see Star-Lord and Iron Man
I'm not
Spider-Man
go-
and Doctor
I'm not gonna
Strange?
lie
Doctor
though,
Strange
like
was so badass.
dude,
I was just thinking that.
I think he
really
was, like,
stepped it up in this.
Who did?
I've missed
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange. I've missed him since this movie came
Yeah.
out, and he came back and was just blew me
I
away.
didn't realize the power.
I felt like he was a little wimpy in this movie. Ebony Maw, man, that dude.
I love Doctor Strange. I love
Yeah.
Tony Stark.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they're amazing. So for me though, there were some times where I was like, you know, I like Thanos. I know it's his movie and all that stuff, but let me see a little Tony Stark.
I love that.
In fairness-
That's what I was thinking. And then
In fairness, the times with Thanos were generally the slowest parts of the movie, where I felt
Yeah.
the time.
but he was cool.
He looked incredible. I thought the performance was great.
I dug his motivation.
Absolutely.
It makes sense, and it's like, you know how some people think about that in the world now.
Yeah.
Like there's just too many people, and that's why we can't give everyone what they
He
need.
was a really good villain.
I
Yeah.
think
Like
he's
Loki was
he
a
mo-
really good villain, and then I feel like Thanos.
Riddler.
I think Thanos might be
The best villain.
Marvel villain ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Killmonger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vulture.
Yes.
Sorry,
But,
Loki.
Vulture
Thanos.
sucks.
How about Red Skull showing up?
I know.
That was so
Amazing.
cool.
I was like-
I completely forgot about that.
I was
That
like,
was
Do you
so
remember
cool.
him from Captain America the first Captain
I
America?
think he's
Does
a
he just
different
sit up
actor
there?
though.
He was
What?
the
I
bad
think he
guy
was
in
also
that.
Just sit
Oh,
up there?
really?
I think he was.
Yeah. So
I think
one,
he was a different actor.
he is.
Yeah.
It was.
Wow, they couldn't get.
Hugo Weaving has said he does not want to do the character again. So they got
That means he didn't.
Ross Marquand, who is an actor on The Walking Dead.
Oh my God.
Yes. He's the gay guy.
Yeah.
So Ross Marquand, amongst other things, is a master impressionist. And he did an impression of Hugo Weaving playing the Red Skull so well, they said, fuck it, we can't get Hugo, we'll get Ross Marquand. He's wearing a mask anyhow, it doesn't matter. He's practically a digital effect, so yeah.
So anybody want to say anything else?
Oh
about
my
the-
god, dude, the Red Skull reveal might be my favorite moment in the movie.
Really?
Because it was up there. Well, Thor also really,
Thor
Thor
showing up
being
and
a,
just
well,
murdering all
Thor
of those
being shown to be
dogs,
the
monsters.
indestructible engine of war that I always felt he should be. He's been kind of underpowered in these movies. And then he's starting a planetary-sized rings all by his
Now-
lonesome and taking a star to the back.
Hold on. So first of all, that little sequence, right? Like the ship is gonna pull one of those
That was
planetary.
Thor throwing the ship.
It was a bit silly, and then the power inconsistencies, like you got like Scarlett Johansson, the Scarlet Witch. No, that's not the Scarlet Witch. Black Widow.
So-
fighting these cosmic power
So,
things,
the-
and you had
okay,
no
I will
problem
They
with
were
that.
not super cosmic powered.
They were supposed
They
to be.
split but they weren't.
So
They got
there-
Scarlet Witch, not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow killed the one. Actually, she didn't kill that one. Came back. But
well,
they were just like,
in fairness,
extra
she used
strong.
his,
So no
she
issue with
used
the
his,
power inconsistencies.
I don't think
I
it was a
felt
power
that it was a little
inconsistency.
much. I don't generally have a problem with Captain America and Vision throwing down with those two. When it got to be Black, or even Falcon rocket kick,
Right.
because that's like rocket powered. Black Widow's just like a super martial artist
I think
lady.
they fought the
It's-
ones that they could fight. That
she
female evil
I
alien
was okay
was
with it
not
because she
super
wasn't
special.
really doing any damage. She
And-
was hitting and.
And then they break the shield open, and then they like let them in the little part of the shield, but then they go to fight them with melee weapons. They don't shoot them with like guns from a
Well, they did
distance.
that.
The ones that had guns did.
Yeah, they start charging. Come on, dog.
Captain
That's
America.
not smart
well,
tactics.
Well,
I
Cap,
bought it totally.
I
What
didn't.
to do?
did that
Just shoot from a distance.
That's what they were doing.
It's like
Cap and
300. You make them come through the little thing.
Yeah, they were doing that.
All right, I'm gonna end this.
All right.
Just end it, but it was great.
Put in a little effect of all of us all fading.
Yeah.
This.
Oh my
just a few
God.
of us.
No.
Put it down.
Avengers Infinity War.
Do it again.
Take two.